Hey guys, Amos555 here, coming to you guys with another deck profile. I actually thought I was never going to play this deck again. I honestly thought when Prep went to 1, I was like, I'm never going to play Herald again. It sucks. And you might be surprised that I'm playing this version of Herald rather than the big one. I still love this deck. I think Herald's still a great card. I still think this deck has a lot of really strong plays. It's really good against non-meta decks. A lot of the non-meta decks have a hard time against this. Really, out of the meta decks, the only decks this deck honestly has a hard time with, like, it actually has a really good Necroz matchup. Well, in most cases, but depends on how well they draw. It has a hard time against Brain Abyss just because of the floatability, and Shadows can be a little difficult as well, unless you could stop the Shadow fusions. So what I want to do with this build was make it as aggressive as possible, passive-aggressive, I should say, and I think it works really well. The problem I have with the big Herald is that he's actually really awkward to draw. I can't search him out with Preparation of Rites, so it comes down to me hoping I draw him with another search card or with an advanced ritual art. And the other issues too is that if in order to play that version of Herald, I have to play more vanillas, and I don't like that. I don't like how you basically have to run like triple Gyakutenno Megami, and I like Gyakutenno Megami, it's fine, but ultimately the biggest problem with it is that by itself it's terrible. And at least the vanillas in this deck, except for one vanilla, I can at least summon or use in some sort of way, so it actually works out fairly well. So without further ado, let's get on with the deck profile, and I'll kind of explain my choices. This is a really strange build, but I think it works really well. So starting things off, we have triple Herald of Perfection. This is one of my favorite cards of all time. I love the card art. It's a beautiful card. Sorry if the lighting's kind of weird. I'm just going to see if I can fix it really quick here. There we go. It's a bit better, I guess. We'll stick with that. Sorry. Yeah, it's a great card. Basically, you just pitch a fairy and you can negate the activation of a spell, trap, or monster effect. The only thing I love about the other big Herald, actually, and it does make a big difference, is this Herald's only 2800 defense, whereas the bigger Herald's 3000. That's really important. The other thing, too, is a bigger Herald can stop special summons, and this one can't. So I think that, like, in that case, this one isn't as good. I actually might cut one of these out for a big Herald and play one big Herald and two small Heralds. I think that would be totally fine. But the only problem with that, once again, is that I'm using up, like, pretty much my entire vanilla engine, which isn't going to leave me with any shine balls for the rest of my plays. So I'm not really a big fan of that, but we'll see what happens. Just two Kristya, 3 Clogs. If you do get this play off, if you get Kristya plus Herald on the board, it's really strong. The other bigger version of Herald, that version of the deck, you play Gale Dogra, and you can actually, like, if you open Kristya plus Gale Dogra, you basically win. You make first turn Herald plus Kristya, and it's really hard for your opponent to get over. But excuse me, honestly, I don't think that that's really that optimal of a play, because once again with Gale Dogra, you have to pay 3,000 life points. And there's a lot of effect negation running around right now because of Necroz, so I feel like that's not that optimal. This card's just also really good as well, because I am playing a card that can recur it back fairly easily. So I am playing the Agent version. I like this version because it's aggressive without having to use the extra deck. Hyperion's still a really powerful card, being able to destroy a card in the field. And the cool thing is that with him and Herald on the board, Herald's discarding effect to pitch a fairy to the graveyard is always going to constantly fuel this guy to get a +1 every turn. So it's actually really strong, and it works surprisingly well. For the Agent engine, I'm also running triple Earth. Now that Trishula's back, the Agent engine's actually really strong again. I actually really want to put together TG agents, but I don't actually have any of the TG cards anymore. I don't know where the heck they all went. I must have traded them or something, but this card's really good. Basically, you just summon it. You're going to always search out Venus because that's the only target you play. But you search out Venus, and then if this thing lives a turn, you're able to summon Venus next turn and do a bunch of crazy either XYZ synchro plays. You can make Trish. You can fuel 4 agents or fairies in the graveyard really easy for Kristya, etc., etc. This card's also a tuner, so you can synchro with it and Hyperion for Leo. You can synchro with it and Herald even if you want to, and it works really well. So we're also running triple Venus. This is also just a really strong turn 1 play. Basically, you're going to summon this out, and you're going to special 2 to 3 shine balls, depending on the situation. I usually do 2 because I like to leave 1 in the deck for advanced ritual art. And then you make a Gotchi, which is just a really strong first turn play. It's also really good as well because it'll go up to 2,000 at that point. You only have to be careful against Shadows because you're basically going to set up their Shadow Fusion for that like crazy +2 play right off the bat, so you gotta be careful with that. For cards to search out Herald and Advanced Ritual Art, I'm playing just triple Manju, no Senju, and no Sonic Bird. I feel like you just don't need them. The Herald engine is basically just a part of this engine to make it a little more defensive, but because the Agent engine is already quite aggressive. So I'm also playing triple Herald of Orange Light. This card's really good, actually. So basically what it is, and a lot of people forgot about this, is it's Effect Veiler that you have to pitch a fairy with it, which is great because you want to pitch like Hyperions and stuff out of your hand to fuel for Call of the Haunted, or you can pitch fairies to fuel for Kristya, etc., etc. This is really the only argument I could say that you could play triple Kristya in this build, just because you can pitch Kristya if it's dead, which is fine. But I just feel like 2 Kristya is like that. It's like that perfect number. So it's also a tuner, which is actually really relevant. So you can have synchro plays, you can summon it, and you can do plays and stuff. So this card's awesome. Too Honest. This is really good, obviously, because I'm playing like mostly lights. Honest is still a really powerful card. This is my outs to Towers. This also is another outs to Leo, which is kind of be a problem for this deck if I can't get rid of it right away. So Honest is really good, and I can recur it back with Call of the Haunted. Triple Shine Ball, so I'm going on to the vanillas here. This is a big monster lineup if you can't tell. Triple Shine Ball, that's just for Venus. You can also pitch these off of Advanced Ritual Art, so it kind of gives you some versatility. And I'm playing 1 Dunames Dark Witch and 1 Gyakutenno Megami. So the reason I'm playing these is that I am playing Dark Factory Mass Production, so in the case where I've already used Shine Balls and I do a Herald play, you can just pitch the Gyakutenno, but if you have like Dark Factory in your hand, you want to go +1 with a bunch of negation in your hand for Herald, you can dump the Dunames because that's 4 plus a Shine Ball, and you still have 2 Shine Balls left in the deck. And in that case, it's going to create some advantage for your Herald of Perfection, which is really good. And then for the last 2 monsters, I'm playing 2 Maxx. This is just to slow down the really fast decks. Also, obviously, Maxx with a Herald on the board is really, really scary because you're potentially going to be drawing into more fairies, making your negation more viable, which is really good. So that's it for the monsters. It's 29 monsters, quite a few. Onto the spells, I'm playing 2 Dark Factory Mass Production. This card's awesome. So it's not just good for Herald, it's good because it makes your Venus past the first Venus actually playable. So that's one of the biggest problems that I always thought Agents had, was that basically what ends up happening is you summon Venus, you special the 2 or 3 Shine Balls, and then you have no more plays with Venuses later on in the game. This card corrects that issue by being able to add 2 Shine Balls back to your hand, which is essentially going to get you, for 1,000 life points, another rank 2 XYZ. So that's really, really good. And once again, you use this with Herald to add back the vanillas you've dumped off ARA, and it gives you some advantage back. So those are really strong. And then I'm playing 2 Advanced Ritual Art. Konami, put this card to 3 already, please. Like, you hit this, so I can't recur it as much as I used to, so put this back to 3 like it should be. Like, there's no good decks anymore that actually really use this card except for Herald. So, yeah. Sadly, Preparation of Rites is at 1. I hate you, Necros. You suck. This card at 3 made the deck so much more consistent, but, I mean, it also made you have, I found, brickier hands, because if you open up, like, a Herald and, like, 2 of these, it's, like, basically opening, like, 3 Herald, and you have no Advanced Ritual Arts. It sucks. So, I mean, this is okay, but I kind of wish this card was still at 3. Book of Moon. I just run Book because there's some cards that do hurt this deck, like Winda, yeah, trying to think of other cards. Kristya, of course, can hurt you. Basically, anything that stops you from doing plays, this card just helps you get around that. And Book of Moon's obviously a good passive-aggressive card, too. And then I'm playing Soul Charge. The Soul Charge in this deck is insane. You can, like, Soul Charge back, like, multiple Hyperions and, like, a Kristya, and then pop some cards, or you can summon back, like, Venus and some Shine Balls and an Earth or an Orange Light, and then make Trish. Like, tons of crazy plays. You can bring back Herald of Perfection if they killed it, and as long as it was summoned successfully, and you can bring that back for free. And you can bring back Honest, bounce it back to your hand, so you have like negation with Herald. Just so many good plays. Like, Soul Charge is nuts. which is also the reason why, for traps, I'm playing 3 Call the Haunted. This might seem weird in a Herald build, but it actually adds a lot of aggression. So this is more for the agent portion of the deck, but you can also use it with Kristya as well, so and even Herald itself. So say they kill Herald finally, they run it over or whatever. During their end phase, I can flip up Call, bring back Herald in attack position, and then switch him back to defense during my turn, and then my Herald's still back on the board. I can bring back Hyperion if he got killed, or if I had to pitch him off of an orange light, same thing with Kristya, and then I can bring it back, and I start gaining advantage off of that. It's just a really good card. It just adds a lot of speed. If I summon Earth turn 1, and they kill it, and then I summon Venus, special Shine Balls, I can Call the Haunted back the Earth, and then make Trish. 2-card Trish, really good. So plays like that, really, really effective. And then for the last card, I'm playing 1 Vanity's Emptiness, because if you get this thing on the board with Herald of Perfection, since you're discarding from your hand, they basically can't do anything. So it's like another lock. This is kind of my 3rd Kristya, I think. It's a more consistent version. So somebody might be like, oh, why aren't you playing Royal Decree? I side Royal Decree. There's a lot of decks that Royal Decree is not that great against, and everything except for Satellar Nova Alpha is a problem for this deck. Just counter traps, that's about it. So onto the extra deck, we have 1 Felgrand. He's basically just there because you can make him with like 2 Hyperions, and he's just a really good card, obviously. So I'm only playing 1 rank 3. I'm playing just Zen mains. You can only make a rank 3 off of 2 Venuses in this build, so it's kind of not that optimal. And I still love Zen mains. I think he's one of the best rank 3s ever. Some people would probably say, like, why don't you play Leviair or Equipped Engineer would be really good. Yeah, you can play both of those as well. I don't like Leviair as much now, just because Tour Guide's gone. I'm not playing Tour Guide in this build. Well, it's not gone, but it's at 1. And I like this card because it also helps. I'm not playing MSTs, so this is another out to Cleefort Scout, which is a stupid card, so gotta get rid of that. For rank 2s, I'm actually missing 1, but I'm playing 1 Gachi. You could actually play 2 of this guy in this build if you wanted to. 1 Orange Light, or sorry, Pure Light. Pure Light's really good because you can add back like your Hyperions or Kristya or whatever to your hand, Honest, and then get rid of like Vanilla back into the deck, so I think this guy's really good. And then I'm playing 1 Dark Mist. I'm probably going to take this guy out for a 2nd Gachi, or take him out for, I don't have him, but I think the name's like Sky Cavalier or something like that, Cavalier. He's that weird-looking Pegasus-looking thing, 2000 attack. I don't have one yet, but this guy's really good. You make him with 3... A lot of people forgot about this card. You make him with 3 level 2 monsters, so 3 Shine Balls or 2 Shine Balls and a Earth. And basically, he always can punch over any monster. So this guy is also... I don't believe he targets either. Attack. Opponent's monster you can detach. Or half the attack. Yeah, so it doesn't target. So this is also an out to Leo, which is an issue for the deck. This is an out... I think Towers... gets killed. No, Towers don't get killed by this guy, but Leo does get killed by it. So he's just a good card. He gets over prog monsters. So for synchros, we have the 1 Leo, the 1 Trishula, which this deck makes really easy off like 2 cards basically, sometimes 1. Scrap Dragon. So you can make both of these guys, Crimson Blader, off of Herald or Herald and Earth, or off of Earth and 3 Shine Balls. So that's not too hard to make, and yeah, just how they are. I'm not playing Black Rose Dragon because Black Rose Dragon isn't that good anymore, in my opinion. I do play Michael because he just requires a tuner and 1 more non-tuner light monster, so you can make him off of Venus, Earth, and a Shine Ball, so that's really good. I'm playing Vulcan because I can bounce back my Call the Haunted if I like synchroed with them or overlaid XYZ'd with the monster I summon back, so gives you some versatility there. I love Vulcan, he's awesome. For level 5s, I have Armades and Catastor. Another out to Leo, which is really the only card that really hurts this deck. And then for level 4 synchros, I have Armory Arm, and because there's some OTKs you can do with this guy. And Arclight's actually really good in here because I can add Herald or Advanced Ritual Art to my hand, so that's really, really good. Excuse me. So that's the deck profile, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully by the time I've uploaded this, I'll have my Mecha Phantom Beast deck all done. So the next one you guys can see is my new Mecha Phantom Beast deck, which has been testing awesome. It's like super fast. I'm really, really happy with it. And I hope you guys enjoy it when I do post it. So anyways, thanks for watching. Peace.